Welcome, everyone. I should have started the stream earlier, but that music was so sick. I just had to keep going. Felt like I was in the club. Welcome to AI Agents Hour. I'm Abi. I'm from Mastra. I am calling from, or we're having this stream solo today. Well, there'll be other people coming, but I'm still in Belgium. This will be the last stream of the week. Tomorrow, there will be probably a US time zone stream tomorrow, but for the EU time, there will not be one tomorrow because we're headed to a new location. So next week, we'll be streaming from a different location. I guess you'll see on Monday or Tuesday, one of those days. Cool. So let me just say some crazy shit happened at AI.engineer. We brought 1,500 books of both the V1s and the V2s of the principles of building AI agents, and I think most of them are gone. So that's just a lot of books that we handed out there. A lot of cool social capital gained. So yeah. Oh, we already have a chat message. The chat is not silent today already. That's good. DU's back. What up, dude? Hey, Abby, how are you? I'm doing great. Yeah, can't complain. Life is breezy. Let me talk about what we're going to get into today. I have a couple Mastras that are going to come on and demo something that they're very excited to show off. Then I'm going to do a little architecture diagram session about intelligence, very high level. And then I'm going to do a pairing session with Markus from CopilotKit, which is kind of a extension of yesterday's stream, where we're going to integrate that working structured memory into the UI. So should be a fun stream. But first, I will bring in our homie Paul, and he wants to show you some new documentation that's coming out. So Paul, I think you're in the stream. I'm going to bring you in. There you are.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going great, man. It's going great. Let's do this. There you are.
Fantastic.
So, what are you going to show off today?
So today I wanted to talk about the new workflows. How are we officially referring to them? Workflows V2, or just now they're workflows and then they're legacy workflows?
Yeah.
So we still have the legacy workflow ones in the docs, but current workflows, which were the next workflows, have now been fully documented. I just wanted to walk through the new pages. Abi, you mentioned this morning it was like a novel, so I think maybe it does require a bit of a step through. So here we go. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Have we got screen sharing up and running?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so from the left-hand nav in the docs, scroll down, workflows. So under this new item here, overview. It's an introduction. It explains what they are. If you don't know what workflows are, introduces the main functions and packages that you'll need to install or import to use. And then we kind of dive straight into the steps, which are really like the crucial part of workflows. So within a step, you can have a bunch of inline logic. You can make API calls. You could do, anything you like within here. And then, the output of your step is what gets passed on to the next step in the workflow. So here's a workflow with just a single step. It just explains how to set up a workflow. You'd have your input schema and then your output schema. And then if you want to run steps sequentially, you can use then. You can have as many as you like that would run sequentially and then commit after it. There's an example there of this step would run, the output of this step gets passed into the input of this step. And then just to set up your workflows, register them in the master instance, and just an example of how to run it. So that's the basics, but there's a lot more to it because they're super powerful, as I discovered. So under control flow, I've tried to explain as best I can pretty much every which way you might want to use a workflow. So the one I just covered there was sequential. That's a fairly common one where steps run in order, but you can also run them in parallel. You might have two separate workflows that are going off and doing separate things. You can have conditional workflows. So You might have a step that has a result that goes one way or the other, and from there you can decide which step to run next. You can also run loops. You can run continuously, do while until something is true, or do until something is true. This might be particularly useful, again, if you've got asynchronous requests going off and you're waiting for a response to come back. You've got for eaches, so you could run the same logic over each step. There's an example of a run instance. You can also set the concurrency. So you could have multiple steps running at any given time. And then you can run workflows themselves in parallel as steps within a workflow. This is where it gets a bit meta.
Mm-hmm.
And then nested workflows. So you could have a workflow as a step that itself has steps. So this is where it kind of unlocks, like I would say, some really, really powerful functionality. And these things can get quite complex, but because it's composable, I think for just your own mind and brain, I think you can abstract these things out into logical workflows themselves and then build them all up. I think over a much larger code base with multiple agents, this is a really helpful and a really powerful way of doing it, because it's not just a giant file with 300 lines. You can actually kind of separate it up. Suspend and resume is pretty useful sometimes if you're waiting for say user input before you go on to the next step. You can suspend a workflow until you have the information that you need to continue, and then to resume you might want to pass in some data. It could be user input. That's pretty helpful, I think, pretty common.
Yeah.
Data mapping, I think, is super powerful, as you've probably come across multiple times, where the general idea behind a step is that the output of, say, step 1 would be the input for step 2. But that's not always going to be the case. And so in those scenarios, you would probably want to, in between your 2 steps, introduce a map that could take the input data from the first step and effectively remap it to match the input data of the next step. So that's really powerful as well, because it allows you to still have 2 very separate steps with different inputs and outputs, but within your workflow, you could sort of modify it ever so slightly just to suit the needs. I think, again, for composability, that's super useful. Number of ways to do this. You can grab all of the information from the input data. You can get the step results from a step by using get step result. You can get the init data, which is the initial data from the workflow. So really, you've got access to absolutely everything. Renaming outputs, again, within the map, if you want to match different schemas or change values, you can rename them. I won't go through all of these. The actual one I was really keen to show, though, was how you can now use agents and tools in steps. So
Yeah.
probably already done before many times would be to have this like logic in the step, but now we've actually got agents as steps. So you can create a step and just pass an agent in, and that agent could be defined as it normally would anywhere else. You could use an agent on its own if you wanted. So this, you can just pass it straight in, and that just sort of means it's reusable in multiple places, and you don't have to duplicate a bunch of code. Same with a tool. If you have a tool, where have I done that in this code? Oh, here we go. Sorry. You can create a step and just pass a tool directly in. So you could have all of your tools, abstracted nicely away in your tools directory, and rather than having them all inlined in a step, just create a step from the tool. So that's my favorite feature, I would say.
And dude, that is what people are doing. Or before these docs and before vNext workflows, people were doing this by hand, which is fine. But it's so nice now that you could just pass primitives in and they just work. I love that.
Yeah. So hopefully that's enough to cover off. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but I was super excited to get those live today, and hopefully it should clear everything up for anyone if they were having any issues. I know there was a couple of things in Discord, but if there is anything else, ping me. Oh, there's the cat. Sorry. Don't ping Shane. You can ping me.
Yeah. Dude, Paul, that's really good. And what I meant by a novel was like there's like a big like it read like a building on context, and you're kind of like reading through this narrative that I was like, oh shit, I know how to do this now. Because as we all know, the docs were kind of all over the place before, so this is way cleaner. And
Yeah. I mean, I took it as a compliment, just to be clear. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I mean, I think it does. It should be something that you could work through from start to finish and have a really good understanding of how workflows can be used.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Paul. As always.
All right, man.
Next time.
All right. See you later.
All right. So that was one Mastras down, a couple to go. If you're just joining us, 54 of you here. That's awesome. If you do have questions, you can put them in the chat. I will answer them as we go. But I was laughing in the beginning of that because Marvin had said that I had got a haircut. Okay, and I did get a haircut today, but it was very awkward because the barber didn't speak English, and I don't speak Turkish or Dutch or anything he was speaking. So I had to use my intelligence, which we're going to talk about later, to be like, number 6, cut on the hair, and that's kind of like primitive communication, right? Anyway, that's just alluding to what we're going to talk about next. We got some new homies in the chat. Shravan's back. What up, dude? Hello, how are you doing? I never understood the difference between tool sets and tools. What would be ELI 5 version of that? So a tool by itself is just a single tool, and you can pass that to your agent. A tool set is a map of tools, maybe from different providers. Technically, they're all the same shit. Tool sets is just something we named in our API where you can pass in tool sets, which is just an object of a bunch of stuff. Probably we need to rename that and just call it tools because there's not a difference. The difference between tool sets, though, in Mastras and then regular tools is in the tool set, you can have a key that encapsulates tools. So for example, let's say I wrote 3 tools for my database, 3 tools for Stripe, and I wanted to pass that as a tool set. I would have an object with one key called Stripe, other object, put all my Stripe tools in there, and the second key, which is DB, put all my tools in there. But it actually doesn't matter because they all become single tools at the end of the day. So thanks for asking that question. It's just something we need to change. Next up, I'm going to bring in Kenny. What up? How's it going, Kenny?
Yeah, good. It's going pretty good.
Remind the people where you're from.
Yeah, I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. And
yeah,
that's where I am right now. So you can see Apple Park behind me. But
dude, we're global out here, man. We're global out here. Yesterday, we had a big-ass release for something you've been putting your heart and soul into. And I would love for you to give a demo to the viewers here because it is that sick. So let's do it.
Yeah. So yesterday we released. Can you still hear me? Because it says my. Why is it saying connection lost? Okay. Yeah, I'm back. So yesterday we finally launched the Master course, which is a one-of-a-kind course that has never been done before, and it's a course that you take with like an MCP server inside of an agentic editor. So something like, say, Cursor, Windsurf, or even VS Code with Copilot mode. And I'm just going to share like a lot more about that today. Not maybe a lot more, just give you like more details so you can check this out yourself and actually see how it works. So I'm going to try to share my screen real quick. And I'm going to see how it goes. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to try to find this. All right, I think this is better. All right, can everybody see this okay?
Yep.
Yeah, so the first thing we launched is University. So University is just this page on our website that allows you to get access to our workshops. So all of the events we're going to have, the book that Sam has written, and there's like a second version now, which is updated with a bunch more interesting stuff. But the star of the show in all of this is Mastras 101, which is a course that explains to you all of the basics you need to get started with Mastras. And so if you go to this section of the website, we have an introductory video by Shane. But the interesting part about all of this is how you actually take this course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just walk through this website real quick and then maybe jump to the editor to show that as well. So what we allow you to do is you install Mastras and then you install Mastras MCP server, which then allows you to chat with the agents inside of Cursor, for example, and it walks you through the course, right, step by step. So inside of the course, you're going to learn how to say build your first agent, and also like how to add tools and MCP, and then finally how to like add memory to the agent. And this is particularly useful if you haven't used Mastras before. But let's say you have used Mastras before and you just want to see how like things are done, if you're doing it correctly, if there are things that could be better, right? This course is also very useful. I think one more thing to add to it is regarding the MCP server, right? A lot of people might run into issues, especially setting up. And so we have this FAQ section down here, which should answer some of the most popular questions you'll get or you'd run into when you try to install the MCP server and also just get started with the course. So I'm gonna just, move over to my code editor real quick, rather my terminal, and just try to get started with creating a new project, opening the course for the first time and just walking you through how everything is just gonna flow from there. So we're gonna run npm create Mastras at latest, which should get me started. I'm gonna zoom in. So this is a lot easier to see. And then I'm gonna call this my Mastras new course, my Mastras new app. Just gonna try to create a project for me, and that's gonna take a couple seconds and it should be off to the races. So while that is happening, I'm just gonna say that, okay, we have like an introductory video from Shane, which just walks you through what the course is gonna be about. But then we also have like videos for every section. So every section has an intro that just gives you this short walkthrough of what the course is going to be about. And you can see all of the lessons as well. So let me just check back into this. It's still installing. I'm just going to wait a while for that to finish. So while that is happening, Abby, do you have any questions regarding the course per se you wanted to ask? Or anything at all?
Yeah, so I guess, what was the hardest thing about building this? Or maybe the better question is like, what was the most interesting thing that what was the most thing you found interesting while building this?
Yeah, so I think one thing that was interesting was trying to steer the agents to actually do what we wanted to do. So because this is based on an MCP server that returns like a bunch of instructions, it's kind of like tuning the prompt, right? We had to like tune the prompt to let the agent return the things we wanted to return, right? And so say for instance, there's an interesting part I'm gonna show, which is we allow you to actually see your course progress on the Mastras website. So we're able to like connect the progress you're making in the course inside of your editor to this website where we show you how far you've come with it. And so some of the time, the agent wouldn't return the URL. So we have to tell it, okay, you have to return the URL every time the user asks for like course progress. So that was interesting as well. But I think the most interesting part was just connecting all of the pieces together, which is you have like the editor side of things, where we save all of your progress on your device, and then we try to sync that to like this to the server on Redis, and then have this website where you're able to now see everything as you go through the course, which makes it a lot more fun. So yeah, that's what.
Yeah, let's see this in action.
Let's see it in action. So I'm gonna just choose all of the defaults. Choose OpenAI. I'm gonna skip for now. I don't need an example, but I'm gonna add like this is the interesting part, the important part, by the way. So I'm gonna add cursor, MCP server inside of this, and then open this up, and then open my editor.
I have to pause for a second, Kenny, because either I'm going crazy or you have a sound effect when you hit enter.
I do have a sound effect to my
The sound
keyboard.
effect. Dude, I thought I was going insane. That's sick. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. All right. So one thing we've kind of discovered is that
And
because
zoom
we're
in,
not
please.
okay, zoom in. Let me just zoom in some more. Increase the brightness. Is it better now?
I think so. You know, I'll make it full screen for everyone
Okay.
too. Boom.
Okay. Right. So one thing we actually discovered that is interesting as well is the type of responses you get is also dependent on like the agents, like say maybe Cursor is using. So we've had a lot of successes with the Claude models. Claude 4 Sonnet, for some reason, doesn't actually do what we tell it to do with the tools. So I think we're also going to have a FAQ section for like the best models to do this with. You know, GPT 4.1 works okay, 3.5 Sonnet as well. But yeah, not talking, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is, once I have my new project set up, I'm going to go to my MCP settings first of all and enable this. This is the new Cursor 1.0 launch. So you actually have this new UI for MCPs and things like that. I'm going to wait a while for this to enable. We have all of our tools, you know, our course tools, which looks good. And then I'm just going to maybe use Sonnet and say start master course, which, you know, it's going to ask me, oh, what's your email address? And I'm like, all right. So I'm going to say, please use my master email. Use that. And then it's going to call the tools. Also, I have YOLO mode on because I don't want to confirm tools all the time. So it just like auto confirms and then moves on. So yeah, so it's gonna say, oh, I looked through your directory. I see that you have Mastras installed. I'm gonna help you run the Mastras server. I don't have to do anything because it runs terminal commands now. So I'm gonna copy this real quick and go back to my browser, paste this here, and I see, you know, my server is running, my playground is running locally. So I don't have an agent yet, and I'm gonna see, I want to say, I don't have an agent yet. Can you create one for me so I can see it in the playground? And then it's probably able to, you know, use the MCP tools, create the agents for me, write it to the file, maybe fix a bunch of linting errors here and there as well. I don't think there is something called system. So it's hallucinating this. So it's trying to check the docs to verify what's wrong, and it's going to update that to fix the error as well. Nice. The model stuff seems to be wrong, but if I wait a little bit more, it should use the docs MCP to get the right model and then use that instead. Okay, let's wait a bit for that. And we're good. It fixed the error. So I think, yeah, so it's gonna just create this for us. I can accept, it's gonna export that, register it to the master class itself. And then if I go back to my playground now, you know, and say I refresh, I have my agents, pretty nice. So one final thing is, as you go through the course, you can just say, what is my course progress? Which, you know, it's going to tell you, okay, you've done this amount of lessons. This is the amount of lessons you have left. And you can check out, you know, you can check out the status on the master website. So I'm just going to wait for that to return it. So yeah, I've gone through 4 steps. I'm in the 5th step of running the playground. Just to confirm, Abby, can you still hear me though?
Yep, again.
All right. So yeah, so I've gone through 4 steps. I'm on the 5th step of running the playground. Around the playground, and I can just copy this link, go back to Chrome, paste this, and then, you know, on the website, I'm able to see how far I've come with the course.
Yo, that's so sick. That's so
insane,
cool.
right? So I can take this, I can share with others, they can see my progress, and yeah, that's
Dude,
pretty much
cool,
it. So
man. I love that shit. That's so
very
cool. Dude.
So this is master course with an agent, and we hope this helps, and
That's awesome.
it's able to just teach you more.
That is awesome. I think W's in the chat for that one, for sure. That's what those Gen Z folks say, right? W's in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I just remember learning things on Egghead.io back in the day, on all these different websites, and this is such a different learning experience now. Like, you're in your editor, you have the course details, you have the course. You're not paying for shit. I tweeted this yesterday. Knowledge is a MPX command away, like, for sure. Like, also, great work, bro. Great work. I think chat needs to do an applause too. That thing was sick. And with that, I'll let you go, buddy. Till next time. See you, dude.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Holy crap, that was cool. That was just, I don't know, I'm kind of like speechless, even though I've already knew that it existed. But it's just cool to see it like live now. We've been working on it for a while. And there's a lot of intricate things, like to build a course that is non-deterministic in a way, right? We definitely have these course logic and the steps, but then as you saw, to do and execute the step, like AI hallucinates a lot of the time. And then we have to improve our docs to make sure that that doesn't happen, but it can self-correct given the tools it has, right? It can check actual master documentation and see if it actually works. So pretty dope. I got two more guests, but one more thing. We were talking about agent networks on Monday, which blew up on the stream in the sense that there are a hell of people on stream watching us do this. And we were kind of discussing how we want the playground to be. We stumbled through showing those messages. Well, I'm happy to say I'm bringing back Monsieur Malvin and Julio.
Hey, folks. How's it going?
Back in the biz.
How you doing, guys?
Doing good. Dude, yesterday there's a tweet came out that only cracked engineers come from like the Midwest and Toronto area. And by that definition, like Shane and Daniel were the only people in that bubble. So then I tweeted that thing, and I posted every teammate's Twitter handle, and I said, I guess, I think for Taufik, I was like, I guess they don't know talent exists in Africa. And I forget what I said for yours, Marvin, but you guys are cracked for sure. So why don't we show the folks what you've been working on?
Yep. So it's been a rough, we had hard days, it was like, hey, we need to figure out how we can handle this agent networks basically, which is kind of crazy because as you mentioned with Paul just before, now it starts to become very complex because you can have tools that are agents, you can have a workflow that triggers a workflow, that has a step that triggers an agent, this kind of thing. So it's just becoming very, very complex. And so we're still trying, to be honest, to make something that works, and we can show you probably some stuff. What do you think, Taufik? Can we show stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let me share my screen. So
let's do it.
Please, don't expect anything very, very crazy. We are going with very basic use cases. So this is how we work, right? We are trying to fix simple use cases, and we add on top of that so that it's iterative, and we start small, and then it grows. And if it becomes too messy at some point, we refactor our code on this kind of thing. So we started with two simple, in between quotes, simple use cases. The first one is talking to an agent network and streaming back the response from an agent. And the other one is triggering a workflow from an agent network. So let me show how it works. I'm having a master application running, hopefully. Okay, can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, sure. I need to figure out how to zoom, man. I'm on a weird keyboard. I'm on this weird split keyboard with predefined mapping. I don't even know where is my plus thing. Yeah, and then it's just like, oh, come on. Engineering not being able to just zoom in. What the fuck is that? I don't know. Let's just do it that way. I will
roll with it. Yeah.
So we have this agent network, and basically the first user experience will just be a chat. And I'm going to ask it, tell me about BMW cars. And it will be thinking for some times, and then it will stream some responses. So it looks like it's just an agent response like we do on the agent section, but it's a bit more. We can check what's going on at the agent network level, and we see that multiple things are happening. The first one is that the agent networks was able to decide which agent it has to call. So at the code level, I should be able to show you example agent network vnex networks. Okay, so we have an agent 1.
We need to see the code. I think we only see the browser.
Okay, but I mean, in my code I just have 2 agents, so it's not important if we don't see the code for now. In my code I have 2 agents, and the network was able to say, hey, we are talking about car. I'm pretty sure I should send this message to the agent 1, and agent 1 will be the one that has to give an answer. And then the agent has made some execution and has streamed back some information. So that's the first use case, like the use case where your agent network is able to know which agent it has to forward the request to, so that it can give you back the expected answer, right?
Yeah.
So agent 1 is responsible for dealing with cars, and we have another one. So I will refresh the page and I will say, hey, tell me about London. And we will have a thinking process again. So it will think for a long time. And now it gives us back some JSON answer. And right now, you cannot really know what has happened. But if we expand this one again, we see that the agent network has been through a decision-making process. So just to know which agent it has to, or which workflow it has to route the input to. And in this case, instead of trying to go to the agent responsible for providing information about cars, it has decided to go to the workflow number 1, right? Mm-hmm. And then it has executed this workflow. So we have the same. We have the same UI as the other one. We have the input, output, show traces, nested workflow, blah blah blah. If there are, so it's just working the same way as workflows. And then it has been through the agent step 1, agent step 2, and at the end it was able to resolve the final output. So that's what we've achieved, and it's way more complex than it looks in this example, because there are so many things that can happen in this execution flow. Yeah. As I mentioned, tools, calling agents that are calling tools again, that might also be an agent. It can be very, very complex. But as a first step, we were able to resolve, having this decision-making process at the agent network level. So it has made a decision, go to the agent or go to the workflow. Then we had the workflow execution, the different steps, and et cetera, and et cetera. So that's where we are at the UI level. There will still be a lot of thing has to be done yet. We are lacking some information at the core side, for example. Tony is aware of that. We will iterate on this. And yeah, then it will be going with more complex workflow with nesting, parallel stuff happening, all these kind of things. But this is basically a first version of it. So for people that are interested in only the output, they have it. And for people that are interested in having the thinking process, if they want to debug stuff, it's also available, but it's hidden so that it does not pollute the UI. And yeah, that's all we have for now.
Yo, dude, that was legit. Can we do one more exam, or can we do one more test, show me cars again or something like that? I just want to.
With an agent?
Yeah, just do the agent example. There's 120 of y'all just here. If you just joined us, we're doing just demos. If you joined us on Monday, we were talking about agent networks and trying to build a UI. Well, Marvin and Taufeeq made some freaking moves, and you can see this is kind of the evolution from Monday. We move fast around here, y'all. This is dope, dude. This is dope.
Looks nice. I mean, a lot of things has to be done yet, but yeah, we will figure this out. We will figure this out.
I can see the path forward, which is the most important thing when building these things. for everyone in the audience, like we didn't know what the UX should be, and this may not be the UX that is correct, but we wanted to make sure that we could do something to move forward. That way people can, because the UI, let's be real, the UI is a great reflection of the agent network, but the network itself still has to work, right? And without these two pieces, it's really hard to say that the network is complete. And we're one step closer. So good job, dudes.
Yeah, and it's very interesting at the. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's very interesting at the discovery level because this is the kind of feature that you don't know how far it can expand. Because when you talk to an agent, you are expecting one output, which can be a stream or just a string, depends. But it's quite easy to think about, right? But in this specific situation with an agent network, it's super complex. You don't really know what will happen, right? Because you are not aware of what will happen in this decision-making process. And it can go very, 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 very crazy and having a lot of parallel stuff and also,
Amazing.
Thanks, man. I will stop sharing my screen then.
Great. So, well, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Alfred, Marvin.
See you, folks. Bye-bye.
We need some W's in the chat for these guys, too.
See you, team. Bye-bye.
Right. All right. And then there was just me. That was really cool. We're building a very special team, and we all really love working together. And I think you can see it in the work, right? Like it totally bleeds through. So get yourself a good team. That's all it takes. All right, we're going to move on to the next topic, and then I got to bring Markus in here. And then we're, sayonara after that. But we still have a long stream. We have ways to go. We're going to get to the next topic, which is intelligence. Now, this is going to sound like some hippy-dippy stuff, okay? But just bear with me because I've been thinking a lot about this, and I just want to poke your mind a little bit about artificial intelligence and everything like that. If I sound like an asshole, just let me know. But I'll share my screen, and we will draw some stuff. And since I'm solo, I can't really see the chat, but I will try. So I'm going to do this blank screen. Let me make sure I can see the chat. Sujay's back. What up, Sujay? Dude, I like having these repeat viewers because we can make the same jokes every day. Hey, what's up? You guys are literally bumbling, fumbling, and jumbling, dude. Well, Sujay, that was your job title yesterday in stream. So I think, thanks for giving me the new title. All right. So this is also going to be very meta. Okay. So bear with me again. But when we talk about intelligence, right? Let's talk about it from a human perspective first. What makes you intelligent, right? There's many things, right? But let's just let's break it down from the very basic thing. You need to have a brain, right? You need to have a freaking brain. So let's say the core of intelligence is the brain. And what the brain allows you to do is what? It has all these neural pathways that allow you to have motor functions. And so let's talk about these capabilities of intelligence. And I'll say some personal stuff later about why this is important to me. But the brain is your reasoning engine, right? When you look at this, when you're a kid, your brain's not developed. You've never seen a water bottle before. But eventually your brain starts understanding that if I'm thirsty, there's some impulse in my brain. I'm thirsty. This thing, I've seen other people drink water. They do it like this, except in Europe, the fucking cap doesn't come off, which is hilarious. But anyway, and then they drink it. And then you start associating if I'm thirsty, I drink water, right? Now, a lot of these things are innate. I doubt anyone had to teach you. Well, maybe because if your parents took care of you or whatever. But some things are innate. So the innate reactions in intelligence are let's just say these innate reactions. So there's just some things that are innate. Now, there's also things that are like you have to reason about, right? So your brain is a reasoning engine. For example, it's cloudy outside. You know, your deduction would say it's probably gonna fucking rain, you know? So you need to be able to reason. So reasoning is part of intelligence. Reasoning. Now, back in the day, I'm Indian, so my mom comes from a different era where when you call someone dumb, the word dumb used to be you couldn't talk, right? You couldn't speak. So maybe that is, and now it's dumb is dumb, right? Like you're stupid or whatever. But you know, that old colloquialness of dumb means you couldn't speak. You couldn't express your reasoning or what you learned. So you do need some ability to speech or to have speech or to communicate. And that shit's real, right? If you're a mute, it's tough for you to communicate. You could be the smartest person in the world, but how would you express yourself, right? Expression often comes through communication, right? Then I'm using a computer, right? A computer is a tool. A hammer is a tool. We have dexterity in our hands to be able to do things. We learn how to use these tools, and those are what you have as skills, right? You have skills. And skills are the knowledge of using a tool, right? So you have skills. And, you know, in AI world, skills and tools are kind of like synonymous. But I would actually take it a step, I would actually separate those concepts. A skill is the knowledge of how to use a tool. The tool itself is just a tool, and that is man-made, like a hammer or this water bottle. This is a tool for me to drink water, right? But I know I need to. No, that metaphor doesn't actually work. But anyway, I'm getting there. Then there's this interesting concept that intelligence has, which is if I do the same thing over and over again, I can. Well, let's actually take a step back. There's this thing where if there is a step-by-step instruction on how to do something, and I can follow it. That means, you know, I can run these playbooks, right? All of us, maybe if you're an engineer working in infrastructure, you see an alert and you start running a playbook. We call these playbooks, right? What is a playbook? Oh, you know, log into this system, run these commands, check the output. You are running a playbook. So you have the ability to run playbooks, or let's call them workflows. And we do workflows all day. Right? When you make your coffee in the morning, you're hitting the button, you put in the thing in, right? When you do something long enough, you develop a second, just an innate reaction of doing it called muscle memory. So these workflows essentially, sometimes maybe you can't remember all the steps, but sometimes you've done it so many times, you skip steps. You've done 5 steps, but you're like, I can do steps 1, 2, and 3 all in parallel. Or I can do it until, you know, I'm tired or whatever, which Paul was talking about workflows, right? These are very much semantic ways of thinking about how we do shit, right? Workflows. If you do it enough, it evolves into what I call muscle memory. Okay, cool. But then if you have muscle memory, that means you had stored the procedure somewhere in the brain, right? That means you had memory to begin with. Now, the human brain is the best freaking database that exists on this planet, except it's very flawed because it does not have long-term storage forever. And I can get into a whole discussion. Give me some wine, and we can talk about that for a long time about memory. It's one of the most fascinating pieces of intelligence. But also memory is flawed too, because there actually are 2 different types of events. The way you remember them and what actually happened. You ever got into an argument with your friend or your spouse about something you said, but you said, I didn't say that? That's because 2 people are remembering events differently. And I don't know, I don't know who was right in those times. I like to say I was, but my memory was flawed, maybe, right? Sujay said STM, short-term memory as well. Yes, I'm going to get into that. So we're going to break down memory some more. There's different types of memory, and let's make it like, once again, this is all human. We're going to talk about this as a human. Obviously, you can see where I'm going with this, but there's different types of memory. You have short-term memory. Some people have fucked short-term memory. They can't remember 5 numbers to save their life, right? If I told you like 3754 and I ask you 30 minutes later, you're like, what? But some people can remember text better, or images, like, oh, I saw that flag on the post before. Or I know where we're going because I saw the water fountain here last time we took a left here. So there are different types of memory. Memory is multimodal. So let me also put long-term memory in here. Memory is multimodal, right? It's multimodal in the sense that, and honestly, if you don't have an inner voice, which I know a lot of people don't have, I know Marvin doesn't, like multimodal, maybe it's not really applied to you because you don't think in images, or maybe, your brain reaction is just happens. For me, I think in images and music and taste, and like let's talk about the modalities, right? You have vision, you have images, you have sound, you have actually sound versus voice is different. You can remember speeches versus you heard a cling, right? These are different sensory things. Taste, right? And those are just some examples. But let's break this down even more, y'all. Memory can even be episodic. I remember my 20s at the glory days, right? I was in college, my 20s. I can remember that. It's episodic in my life. I'm in my 30s now. That was a chapter. I don't remember much about, and then sorry, I'll get into this, but these episodes of your life are how you kind of like keep track of things, right? You compress memories into smaller things. Let's talk about compression, right? So you have summarization memory. Sometimes you don't remember every detail, but you fucking remember enough. You compress it into something in your mind where you can be like, oh yeah, I remember something. Like, oh yeah, I remember being there, but I don't even know exactly what I did, right? And then there's archival. After many years of life, right? You have to essentially archive shit in your brain. It happens automatically. It's beautiful. But then you also have to pull it out of the archive. And like I said, the brain is a faster database than any database because you can do that in, microsecond or whatever. So that's just memory. That's a whole can of worms that are there. Okay, so then we kind of broken down like what intelligence is. Let's talk about the sad parts of this thing. Your brain can get damaged and you lose some of these abilities, right? You can't do anything with your hands anymore. You can't learn anything anymore. Or, maybe you weren't even born with the ability to do this. You're disabled. You're born with brain damage, right? Or you're a mute, like you can be impaired in all these ways. And over time, your memory can degrade based on your genetics, right? So, okay, enough of this like high in the pie scientific bullshit, right? What I have written down is actually very interesting because let's map this to what AI is. I know for a fact, because we're working on it. Let's just copy this shit real quick. Also, let me check the chat. 151 of you, thanks. You come into this experimental me talk about some random stuff hour. Hope you're enjoying it. Let's just make this a parallel of what AI is trying to do. And maybe also I forgot to even write about emotions. Emotions are a very strong thing of intelligence because people who can control their emotions, we call them very clever or sly or whatever. Or maybe they're just really intelligent, right? Maybe that is a part of an intelligence because there's emotional intelligence, right? Okay, so now it's all symmetrical for me, so I feel better moving on. So memory. So let's talk about AI. right? Let's replace these skills, or like replace these bubbles with things that we know are tooling in the AI world today. So this is a one-to-one thing. Memory, everything I just said is what we are trying to make possible in our AI applications. And if you follow Mastra, like we are trying to do, we're trying to make this whole box programmable. You know, if the brain is the best database, well, we got Postgres. Jokes aside, well, we got Postgres, yeah. So we could do this, and we can do a lot of these things. There are people who are building multimodal databases too, probably because they think in the same way. Now, what is innate in AI? Well, I'm going to just call this caching. Caching and stored procedures, right? Skills, well, they're tools. Reasoning, well, this is an LLM. Workflows, well, those are workflows. Muscle memory, that's a type of memory that can make a workflow. Communication is STS, TTS, STT, or real-time audio, or real-time speech, or what we call it is STS, speech-to-speech, sorry, my bad. And, you know, these LLMs are starting to do EQ. We saw that the other day, right, on Tuesday. They're trying to do emotional intelligence, or emotional responses, right? So I'm going to close this segment now. I hope I made my point. Like, we are trying to recreate intelligence. That's why it's artificial. It's not ChatGPT. It's not talking on a chat. That is dumb to think that that's where we're going. If people think AGI is like going to take jobs, it probably will, because you're trying to recreate intelligence of the human brain. But it's not flawed, because you can have memory forever. You can throw more databases at her, some servers, etc. So anyway, I will leave it at that. I know this was very experimental, but this is just something very close to why we're doing this, because it's very interesting. And if you're thinking that if you're thinking that we're there yet, we're not. And anytime you want to think that you're there, you should compare it to, can it do what my brain does? If you have a healthy one, I don't want to be an ableist, but can it do what your brain does? If it can't, then we ain't there yet. All right. So let me stop sharing. I'm going to answer some chats here. All right, from Sujay, I just want help from you. Okay, sure. What resource would you recommend for learning prompt engineering efficiently? I feel sometimes my younger brother is kind of a bad prompter. He really needs it. You know, prompt engineering used to be really important maybe a couple months ago, where you had to do all these like fancy schmancy things. What's actually become very interesting is how much you need to be good at just communication through text. So if you can express your thoughts in the prompt, if you can break down things, actually, you should challenge your brother. You should ask him to prompt you. And if you don't understand what the fuck he's saying, then he's probably not good at prompting. And that's where it's evolving to. You should be able to prompt the agent or your IDE as if you were going to tell someone what to do. Okay, next question. Listening to this makes me feel I'm not crazy to have had the same thought process on the mapping. Hey, great minds think alike, I guess. And I guess same for Sujay. And then Diu has a out of the context question. Yeah, dude, just post it. I was playing around with different sort of agents. Two agents have different APIs as tools, and in between I'm using a third to summarize prompts, etc. And I'm curious what I cannot see traces in the third one. If this is a Mastra thing, I would definitely post this on Discord in the help forum, and we'll get to you, and we can dive into your code and see all that stuff. I don't have the capacity to do that on stream. Maybe I should have a segment where we dive into customer issues live, but please go on Discord. We got you. The whole team's there. Thank you. Okay, now I need to get our next guest in. I gotta send him the link. So let me do that. You can ask more questions in the meantime. while we wait. All righty. I just sent him the link. Markus from CopilotKit is going to join us. Things are going to get pretty spicy in here. Just kidding. And yeah, no problem, guys. Thank you. You're welcome. You never have to thank me. It's my job. But that thing on prompting is interesting because prompt engineering has changed. Yeah, like I still like do some of those tactics, like I capitalize words and stuff like that. Makes sense, right? Because that's what you would do in real life. So, okay, my homie's here. Yes, Markus, what up, dude?
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Hey.
Calling from?
All good, thank you.
Are you calling from Austria?
Oh, just a second. I had you on the Twitter also, so I was getting confused. All good.
I'm good,
how are you
man.
doing?
You know, just running the stream, having fun. We have 170 of y'all in here. Welcome. If you don't know Markus, why don't you give him an intro?
Yeah, so my name is Markus. I'm working at CopilotKit. So what is CopilotKit? It's a framework for integrating your agents into applications. So you can basically use convenient React hooks to easily hook up to your agent framework and make your agents work inside of your applications. We come, with prepackaged UI components and, all sorts of things. And the latest thing that we were doing is a protocol called AGUI, which basically is a lightweight, independent protocol that standardizes how user interface can connect to AI agents. So yeah.
Dope. Dope. And so yesterday on stream, we built structured memory, which essentially is agent state, right? This concept of agent state. And today, what Markus and I are going to try to do in our pairing session is connect it to AGUI and hopefully figure some shit out. Before that, Markus, you wanted to kind of set the stage, right? So the floor is yours.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to show what would be the end goal of what we want to build. Let me share my screen. So basically, what we want to build is a shared state between the front end and the agent. We have a demo here which shows, what the end state would look like. It's a demo of a recipe builder where you, as a user, have this recipe UI, and you can use it to, you can edit it yourself. You can just check boxes here. I want vegetarian low carb, for example. And once I send this to the AI or I type anything in here, the AI will see what I have chosen, and it's going to take that into account, basically, and change the state.
Oh, you dropped out. Internet connectivity problems. If you ever see that show Parks and Recreation, there's some internet connectivity problems. I think you're back. And we're back, maybe? Nope. I guess we'll see him in a second. Internet connectivity problems. And we're back. I hope. I don't think so. Technical issues, y'all. It's all good. Some technical difficulties. Bear with us. Hi, Marcus. Oh, well, let me chat with him on the side. All right. Third time's a charm. Is he back?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're back.
So sorry for that. So we have some pretty bad
Oh.
internet for the last couple of days for some reason. I think they're fixing something. I don't know. Okay. So let's try again. I'm gonna share
Cool.
screen.
Add that. Oh, it's super blurry though.
All right. So it's super.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And yeah, the chat says they can't really see it because it's blurry.
Maybe I can send a link to you and you could show it.
Yeah, definitely. Send it over. And
Yeah.
you can just talk it over.
Right. You got it in Slack.
Dope. Let me share my screen. There it is. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right.
Right.
Go for it. Dude.
So basically what I wanted to explain is that, anything you select here will automatically be shared with the AI, and we make it really easy to do just that. So it gives the AI context of, what you want to do here, basically. And it can also edit the state by itself. So it's kind of you and the AI working, together to achieve a certain thing. In this case, making a recipe for something. So if you now click improve with AI, or you could also send a message, it's going to take whatever you put there and iterate on it, right? And you could, give it additional instructions. Basically, I don't know, like I want a white pizza instead of a red one, so with cream instead of whatever you want, basically. Or you could make these edits by yourself, and the AI would be aware of that, and basically work with you together on the structured data to achieve a result. That's the thing that we are going to build today into Mastras, I think.
A carrot pizza bake. Yum.
White carrot. Yeah, sounds delicious.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Cool.
So let's see what we could do. I'll share my code, and let me also get into where I was yesterday. So let me show you what happened yesterday, Marcus, and then we can put our brains together and make some moves. So
sounds good.
I'm gonna share this, bada bing. Cool. You can see my CLI, right?
Yeah.
Dope. Let me just make sure I install and hide this shit. Oh no, back here. Then let me just build some packages. I'll just build the packages. Thank you. Then I'm going to go to this example I made, and I'll open it up. And in the example, in my agent, I have a new agent down here that is just this working memory structured data. So as you could see, with the agent has memory, we can say that the working memory here has a schema. And in this schema, I had me and some friends and their name and occupation. And as I talk to the agent, it will remember, or it'll try to fill in these details, right? So let me run, and I'll show you the little demo of that. So Mary, the memory agent. Hi, I'm Abi, and my friend is Marcus. I work at Mastras, and he works at CopilotKit. So you can see it updated the working memory.
Wow, that's really nice.
Game time, baby.
Awesome.
So we have this, right? We have this ability now. But what we don't have right now is like the client, and we can build it, right? No problem. But right now it's like I'm essentially giving that state via this text, but I should be able to just inject that state, right, into this working memory.
Yeah.
We also need to figure out how we're going to stream it and all that type of stuff. So where's the right place to begin, do you think? In the streaming
Well,
of it?
I guess what we could do, like we could take two paths. So first, we could set up like an interactive development environment, so we can, see things happening in real time if that's what you want to do, or we could just build it first and then connect to it. So what do you think is best?
I think because I have my AGUI example, so we can go there. And I know it's not like latest on stuff, but let me open this one. And I can bring my working memory over there into this. And sure, I actually only want these. Where's my Zod action? Is that Zod here? And let me also make this full screen for people. Why is it tripping? Oh. That's not what I care about. Sorry. Let's ignore the workspace. Fail to create bin. Why is that? What did I do wrong? Memory, AGUI, latest. That should all be chilling. I'm just gonna run it and see what happens. Oh, Mastras loggers. That's what happened. I need loggers. That's dumb. Don't need this. We have our log. That's great. Sorry, I haven't been in this module for a while. This example, I mean. And I don't know why the types are fucked up, but I don't really care. Just want to start. Oh yeah, I gotta install, ignore workspace, do your thing. Boom. Okay, sick. And then if I start the UI, dev maybe? Oh, hello there. Hi. Hey, look at that. We are now in business. Okay.
Nice.
So this is like the basic example. Let's see. Let's see what we can do now. Also, don't understand this type Zod issue. It's probably because, let me look at it Zod in this other one. I don't have it. Zod is right here.
Yeah, I get this all the time when the Zod version is different.
Yeah, it's so annoying, bro. Oops, I need to ignore workspace. Install Zod, yo. There we go. Maybe that makes our lives better. Seems like it. Okay. So, and then because we're using AGUI, like right now, we have AGUI in coming from like the Mastras register CopilotKit method. So now that we're in the mono repo, we can make whatever moves we want, right? So that's cool. So the next piece, I guess, is what? We have to, so right now, I need a good way of demonstrating this. Let me do something. I'm gonna do something stupid, okay? But it's just bear with me. Let's make like a method register API route. Nope, sorry. Need register. I hate when TypeScript doesn't give me my autocomplete. It pisses me off. You're tripping, dude. Okay. 1 second. I'll just go into here. Sorry, I'm all over the place. AGUI, index. So we have, I'm going to take this, put this in here. Annoying. That's because I need server. I need server, and I have server. I'm just dumb, and it just didn't autocomplete for some reason. The path, let's just say like check working mem. Be a get, and we don't need any of this shit. And to check working mem, I'll get our agent. So Mastras get agent, the weather agent. Then I'm gonna get memory. Agent get memory. Cool. Then I'm gonna get the working memory. Working mem. Memory get working memory. And can I force a thread ID, Marcus, on the front end?
You can do it on the front end, yes.
I could force what it is.
So you could set a thread ID, yeah. You can go to the front end and just pass it to CopilotKit, the top level, component, the provider.
Cool.
But yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna just c.json this bullshit. And now we have a custom API route on the server. The reason I added that is I just want to check, like in this intermediate stage where we don't have shit going on, I just want to make sure that the working memory is getting set in this context. So like weather agent, and instead of this object, let's say recent weather report, and it's an array of Zod object where we have the location and let's say the weather, right? So I refresh, I'm sure all this stuff refreshed. Nope, because I'm not running my server anymore like a dummy. And the UI is going, this is going, oh shit. That's because I have another playground somewhere running maybe? Yeah, it's because I'm not in my playground. All right, dude, so let's just test it here. Then let's also test it in AGUI. What's the weather in Brussels? I didn't call a tool. But that's good. Invalid arguments. I must have made something. What did I do wrong here? What did I do wrong? Let me just do something simple to debug this. This is a new thing, so there are probably some kinks here. A recent, and let's call it z.string. What's the weather in Brussels? Okay, and so you can see recent here is that. And I have this thread ID. So technically I should be able to curl. I should be able to just curl localhost. What did I name this route, dude? Something like check working mem?
I don't know, but I think you also hard-coded it to a certain thread ID. Yeah.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Damn it. Oh, I'll just put this here.
Or just put this.
Yeah. And then it's check
working mem.
Oops. Oh, that's because I restarted the server. Oopsie. Okay, let's try this again. What's the weather in Austria? Oh, okay. What's the city in Austria?
Vienna, Austria.
What's the weather in Vienna? Dude, where's my weather tool, yo? Do I not even have one? Oh, I'm so stupid. I don't even have a weather tool on here. God. Actually, then I don't care. I'm just going to tell it, yo, the weather today is sunny.
It is.
But then, invalid type, expected object. I must have broken the thread, actually. Let me try this again. The weather is sunny in Belgium. I have to force it to do this. Let me see. Let's say recent location. All right, I'm dumbing this even down. Okay. I am in Belgium. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Okay.
And then, the problem though, one problem, and let me fix this problem, is the persistence problem. I'm gonna do this. Let's not do memory. Let's memory in the sense of in memory. Okay. Should have consistent. So I am in Belgium. Okay. Now if I go to my API route here, I guess I could have made it a header so this drama doesn't exist. But now let's curl it. See, we have our recent location. So that's cool. Let's go into the AGUI piece now in the app. And I can put a thread here.
Yeah, you can put a thread ID. Exactly.
Put that as one.
It's not. Oh, okay. You want to do a different one, right? Because the other
Yeah,
one. Okay.
I'll just go back here and make it one again, just so we have that. Bada bing, bada boom. And let's not. I am in Finland. Oh shit! It just blew up there.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But error executing, tool execution. What tool am I? What model am I using? Am I doing some? Let's just use mini. And also, you catalog where I have been. Catalog. I think it gets its directive all weird. Okay, hi, I'm in Belgium. I spelled that wrong. Anyway, okay, then I.
Okay, perfect.
Curl. We're in business now. Okay. Oh wait, that's odd. Make sure you catalog me in Belgium. Did it though? No. It didn't. Why is that? My location. Make sure to update working memory when I tell you to. When I tell you where I've been. Yesterday was a lot smoother, but I think that was just like, and Tyler was telling me that I think we got lucky yesterday in some ways. But also, we'll see. I am in Vienna. I wish a cool call.
Did it still say? Is it still saying string? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it still says string.
It's weird.
Yeah, it was working in. Let's try it in the playground again. I am in Vienna. Huh. But the location is a string. Oh, but the memory here is not. This is odd, but this is probably a bug on our end somehow. It's fine. I'm going to switch to doing something else, or I'm going to switch this to not use the JSON format. And what this will do is give me a string, and I can just JSON parse this. Pretend it exists, or let's say add string for now. And let's curl it again. There we go. I'll fix that other bullshit later, but we can roll with this. So then if I did it again, I am in France. Okay. All right, dude. We're in motion. We're back in motion.
Okay, cool.
So now I need to send state deltas, right? Like that's the whole point of this, right?
Well, you can make it easy first, so you could just send a state snapshot, which is the full state.
Oh, sick. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Also, let me check the chat real quick because I haven't been looking at it. Is it blurry even on my? Oh, that was before. Okay, I think we're good now. And 203 people in here. Thanks for being here. If you're just getting here, me and Markus are making moves on agent state in AGUI. And let's keep going. So full state snapshots. I hear you loud and clear, dude. Let's get into the code of AGUI. Not that one. And not that one either. And it's this one. AGUI source index. And I guess here in the run function, right, Markus, was where the magic happens?
Right, that's where the magic happens, and that's where we probably, maybe at the end of the whole thing, we would want to send a state. So that would mean on message finished. What do you think?
Yeah, that's right. On
finished message part.
Here, yeah.
Unfinished message part.
Yep.
So right before run finished, we could do subscriber.next, and then we have a type of event type dot something with snapshot, state snapshot, I think.
Messages snapshot or state?
No, not a messages snapshot, but state snapshot, yeah.
Nice.
And we need a value.
And that's just a JavaScript object?
Yeah, and the key is called value, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, let me have a look at the docs, but I just want to make sure.
And state has to be a structured thing, right? It can't just be some markdown. Yeah. Sick.
Well, it could actually, theoretically, it could also be a string or a number or nothing.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it makes the most sense to just send a JSON object.
And we have our thread ID somewhere in here, right? So that comes input.thread ID.
Oh, sorry. So actually a state snapshot event takes a snapshot key, and that snapshot is the value.
Snapshot. Oh, it does not exist, it looks like.
What do we have here?
What do we have? Let's see. We have raw event and timestamp.
So I guess maybe
Oh, but
it needs to maybe
to,
if you yeah
have to move
you
it.
have to type it. You have to type it. So I guess if you could say like const event column
Yep.
state snapshot event exactly, and then equals. So then you get autocomplete and everything.
And let's say if we have working memory, we will send it. I was going to say it's a string. Actually, it should say format string, but that doesn't mean it could still be a string. So I'm just going to say it is a string. But why is it blowing up at me? You know, sometimes TypeScript pisses me so much, and that's okay. Shit happens. But let's see. Working memory. Oh, because I have to await this because I'm a dumbass. There we go. Oh, but we need to. Can this be async or no?
I think so. Give it a shot.
Let's do it. Okay. Okay. So technically, I'm gonna console log here because that's the right thing to do. We'll put this here.
Yeah.
We have that. I'm gonna rebuild AGUI, the module. Bro, if this works that nicely, I'm gonna give you a big hug when I see you, dude. Because nothing works the first try. Which I don't think this will work the first try, but I have a very sneaking suspicion it might. Okay, so then this will restart, which I believe it did. And that's cool. Let's refresh. I am in Paris. Cool. So I don't, oh wait, the log, where's the log at? Oh, I don't see the log. Let me restart this. I'll try it again. Also, I did build this, right? I did. Okay. And let me just double check. It's null because we just restarted the server. I am in Paris. Bro, Paris. Sick. Do we have our log? We do. Great. So
Nice.
how do I show?
Yeah.
Or what do I do now?
Yeah. So actually, it should already be on the front end, but we are we can't see it because we need to hook it up to the front end. So what we're gonna do is go to that page.
Yes, sir.
And on that page, right, that's the one. So I guess the best position would be in weather agent chat. That's just log something, okay? So we would say use co-agent. Use co-agent. That would be the name of the hook.
Sick.
Use co-agent, and you would give it a name, which would be weather agent.
Like anything? It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It should be the same name of the agent. So yeah, exactly this one. Camel case weather agent. And I guess that would be enough. So we don't want initial state. We don't care about this stuff right now. We just want to say const state before the use coagent.
Sick. Console it.
And then console it.
Oh,
Does
dude,
it
I'm
complain?
excited.
No.
No?
Yeah, me
Okay.
too. Me too.
I am in Berlin. Oh boy, I'm so excited for this console log. Dude.
Oh my god.
He's in the chat, yo. Dude, that was easy.
That's amazing.
I'm sure there's more to go. Okay. So what's our next move? Oh, I guess we could display it, right? Somewhere.
Yeah. Just put it above the chat.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this will be sick. Okay. Not a front end, right? You are in state dot. What does that shit say? my location.
Right. And by the way, you can also type the use coagent hook. We're not going to do it right now, but you can basically, the type can be shared between Mastra and
Ooh,
CopilotKit
that'd
in
be
that
sick.
case. You want to
That'd be
have type
sick.
safety there.
So I'm in Berlin, but now I am in Belgium. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Let me make it strong. That's how much I love it. Cool. Okay. What's our next move?
So I guess next we want to send back, any changes to the state to
Yeah.
Mastra,
Okay.
if that's possible.
We'll make it
So
possible.
we'll make it possible, yeah. So basically, our AGUI integration is going to receive an input, and the input is going to have a state property, and we somehow want to send that to Mastra, and then ideally have it end up in the prompt.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. So, where do we do the set state part and all that and send it off? Or where would we do that?
So there would be a set state that is returned by use coagent.
Okay. Set state here. Nice.
Right.
And
you could just use that basically to update the state on change or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
so this
Yeah, that's enough.
changes that, but then it's not in the back end yet, right?
Right. So it wouldn't be in the backend until you interact the next time with your agent, right? So that allows the user to edit something, to work on it. And only if they're finished, they can send it to the LLM and say, that's what I want, basically improve it further or something.
So now that we changed it on the client to say New York, I say, do you know where I am now? It's not going to know.
It's not going to know.
Will it know? No. Because I changed.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have to bridge that gap.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
and it's sending us Belgium back again because it still remembers that, right? And we just built it to basically send the memory every time, which is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. So how do I update, or how do I get this value across the wire?
Yeah. So if you go to the AGUI integration,
Yes, sir.
we will have that run method, right? And it's going to get its input of type agent input.
Oops.
And that's going to have a state property.
Nice. So input.
And maybe we can start by logging that just to make sure. Is this updating live, Bobby?
What do you mean?
If we console log and then run again, is it gonna update?
I should have rebuilt it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Getting state from from the client, which is state input dot state.
Yeah.
Right? And then let's rebuild AGUI. Let's just restart the server. And then let's do our same thing. Actually, refresh the page here. I am in France. Sick. What about now? And we should see our boom. Okay.
Okay, great. That's what we want.
Okay, that's tight. Now we got to do something with this. What is it that we need to do? We could update it. We can update it directly, right? We could do that, but is it more so that we want to pass this state into the prompt and then, or is it more so that you just update state directly?
So I think it would make sense to update the state directly because you are already passing that memory to the prompt automatically, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if we update the state from that, I think That should do the trick.
And will it? Oh, and then like it'll always have this client side. If I did it again, right? Will this input.state just be the same, or is it only for this run? It takes the client side state value. Like if I did another run here, actually, like hey, hi. Oh, so it does continue to send state, which is fine.
It does.
Nice.
So and basically the idea would be if it reconnects to an existing thread, which we didn't implement yet, but we're going to be doing that really soon, it's going to get the state also, right? So it's going to reload the messages, it's going to reload the state. So it's exactly at the same spot where the user left it, even displaying that state in other places in the user interface.
Okay.
So and then everything should be fine, right? So the user will always see the latest state of the agent, and they will be able to edit it. They will be able to send it to the agent.
So if we have input.state, and then we're not going to worry about all the details right now because like it has to match the schema and all that bullshit, right? We'll do like some Zod parsing and stuff, but I'm going to blindly just update the state. So I can do memory.update. Update. I think. I wonder what the API, I forgot what it is. Let me look at the tool that we made. Save thread, we already have a thread. Yep, this is what we want, essentially. Here, we have, also I need to get the thread. Get thread by ID. Can this be async?
No, this cannot be async, but
that's chill. We're just figuring it out as we go. So if there's a thread, which there will be, hopefully. Oh yeah, if memory and that, we'll just take the current thread data, take the current metadata, and I want to JSON stringify. I'll just JSON stringify the whole state because I don't give a shit right now. And then I'm going to do this. But then, oops. But I don't want the agent to run. I have to do like a dot. I have to chain this then, right? Because I don't want this to...
I guess you would need, for now to run the agent inside of the then.
Yeah. Or can I make
it work?
Can I make an async function here, maybe, for run stuff?
Yeah.
And use closures to my advantage. Because then I could do whatever I want here, and then we just do run stuff dot whatever. So like here, let me rewrite this a little bit so I can do thread and grab that, and then I can do that. That's cool. That's cool. Then also grab Yep. And then this all this shit can just go in there, right? And then here. Oh yeah, but this needs to be
fat arrow function, right?
Yeah. A big fat one. Async here, then we'll return here, and then that looks good. Get rid of all this shit. I think I have an extra. I just want to run stuff. Not the prettiest, but it'll get the job done. Hopefully. Okay, let's see what happens, dude. Let's see.
I'm curious.
Me too. And while we check. Let me just check on the chat. 231. We have some shout outs here from Uli. Shout out Markus. That's his Twitter. If anyone, wants to know. Back to business. So we built that. I'm going to restart the server. Man, we're efficient right now, Markus. I feel like we're very efficient. We're doing shit efficiently. Hi, I am in Belgium. Okay, update the location. Where am I now? Ooh.
Oh.
That's okay. We probably have some issues. Let me add some logs and stuff too.
What does it say in the UI? Did it switch back to Belgium, or did it leave the
I don't think the thread existed.
location at New York?
It left it. It left it as Belgium. For some reason, maybe this is not working. So let's just say thread.
It could also be a prompting issue. Maybe it gets the right information, but it just doesn't, look at it. It looks at the thread history and thinks that it's Belgium. Is it possible?
That could be true, but then we fetch working memory and inject it into the system prompt before doing anything. And we can actually, I'll put debug logs. Actually, you know what? I should put some debug logs on, and we'll see our business. So let me go in here, and to the logger, I put debug on. We'll see a bunch of shit now. And let me also just put some logs in here as well. So here's the thread. Thread to save. And I guess I could fetch the thread after just to double check, huh?
Yeah.
And we'll console log that as well. Okay, that's cool. And I need to rebuild this. And I need to do this. Okay, the thread ID is 1. Hi, I'm in France. Cool, France, but let's see. Did anything happen? So you see how this is my working memory right now? Like the memory stir and all that? Yeah. And then we update it with France. That's cool. And here's our state snapshot, but I don't see our log, for thread. Oh, the thread is null. So that at that time, right? Because we just started the chat. So maybe now, where am I now? But this is the New York one, but that snapshot happened lower. Where is the start of it? Here's my thread, and it does have New York in it.
So this is the system prompt. That's what goes into the prompt, right?
No, sorry. I mean the thread metadata for its working memory is New York now, as you can see here.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But let's look at the system prompt. It's not using that data to then assess, because it's not in the. This is a bug actually I'm not injecting this into the context at all right now. So that's the problem. It's not being injected. Like there should be like a context between these, right? That would state that I'm now in, I'm now in this new location. It changed, So I got to figure that out. Let me figure that out. Actually, I can look at the PR, and Tyler had reviewed it already. And we can see, because he did say this, so it's not like I'm surprised. So let's look at, this is the structured memory PR. There's a ton of review on here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's something we already know. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. That's nothing. That doesn't matter. Yep, it was. It doesn't work quite well, but it's very close. You need to inject the stored data back into the system prompt each time. It only looks like it's working properly because the agent is calling the tool and can see the full conversation history. It can't actually see the structured memory and context, only the schema of it.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what we are running into, right?
Yeah.
That's why it thinks we're in Belgium.
So I need to add that to the system prompt, huh? Into the memory system prompt. That's what we need to do. Okay, I know what we need to do. It may be wrong, but for the sake of the drama of this stream, I know what to do. So this is our memory module, and you can see this is the working memory tool instructions, right? So what if I just add here current working memory? And I don't know if this is correct, but we are going to make it work. So I have, what is in here? Config. I have a thread ID. Let's get the working memory content. Let's pass that in. And so here, and let's just place it in here and see what happens, bro. Let's see what happens. That's what we do around here. We just see what happens. CD memory. Let's build this. Yesterday, Ward taught me some. Oh shit! I have to. Oh yeah, I have to do this dumbass. I have to do that casting because I know it's a string. It knows it's a string too. Let's try that again. Okay, let's restart this. Also, I'm sorry if I'm not monitoring chat because I'm a single screen, so I don't know what's happening. Let me just double check real quick. This guy's still going. Yep, that's me, Ward. I was just mentioning Ward. Me and Ward were doing this yesterday. Okay, there's 252 of you. Thanks for being here. If you're just joining us now, you're seeing Inception on the screen. So let me just go back to this. If you're just joining us, today we started with showing a bunch of demos. We rewrote our workflow documentation. It reads very well. Then we talked about the Mastras course, which is an MCP course that you can just do in your IDE. And then lastly, we talked about agent networks and like our initial UX for that, which I'm sure will land in AGUI at some point as well. And then we brought then I talked about intelligence, and I just rambled and shit about what I think about the human brain and AI and stuff. So if you were not there for that, maybe that's a good thing. And then Markus came on, and we're fucking making moves right now on bringing yesterday's stream for structured memory into AGUI, and we're getting somewhere, so that's good. All right, back to business. So I restarted everything. I am in France. Okay, update it. Where am I now? Motherfucker. Okay, let's look at the system prompt. Let's see, memory structure. Here's the current working memory.
New York. So
Yeah.
I guess it's not giving that enough importance.
Yeah.
I think it's a prompt issue. We would have to say something different there.
Yes. Let's go back and let's see. Oops. Important. If you receive data in current working memory, emphasize. If you receive data in current working memory and the user is requesting information from it, use it. I don't know, that's a bad prompt, but we'll see. Let's try it again. And I need to rerun this. France. We're so close, dude. So close. Where am I now? Fuck you, man. Fuck you. But I want to double check, did my system prompt get updated? Yeah, so maybe the importance there.
Maybe you would have to use, you already put important. You must use it as your single source of truth or something like that in capitals. Maybe.
Maybe I'll do some. This is our current state of. I don't need all that. If you receive data and the user is requesting information, you must use it as context. And I'm sure when I show this to Tyler, he'll have the answer, but we're just gonna bumble and stumble our way to victory. Also, Marcus, if you have like a cutoff, just let me know, because I know.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay. So what if I do? I am in Paris. Where am I now? Man.
Can you ask it if it's if it has any other information? I mean,
What is in? But really, where am I? Because maybe it's a second call thing. No, interesting.
What memories do you have? What does your memory say about where I am, or something like that?
What does your working memory say where I am? But it's not. It's not there. What if I added a user message? Actually, like show me or summarize your working memory. That's not true though, because if it was true, this this state would not be this way, right?
Yeah.
So
it gets updated every time. So
Mhm.
yeah, and we are also logging that, right? We are
correct. Yeah, like where is that? It's still New York. So both the database, actually, let's look at the thread too. Thread. Oh, why are the threads no? That's probably because it's really old. Yeah, let me just do another call here. Look at your working memory, but so here, I mean, it's here, right here. Look, that's what it is. So it's definitely in there. But actually, here, let me try one other thing in AGUI. Like, I don't want the whole state. I want messages rest in the input dot. I just want the rest in there. I don't know if that's going to change anything, but it's worth a shot.
actually that could be it,
because there's all those
because
things in there.
exactly. I mean, we are telling it to look at the working memory, and it still has the conversation history in there. So
That's true, huh? Where am I now? What is my location? Interesting. It's looking at the user, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna
can you tell it to print the working memory as JSON?
print our working memory. I don't think it has a tool to do that, but it should. But we can always figure that out.
Well, I guess to answer that or something. I mean, it's injected in the prompt, so
But it's
yes.
wrong. It's getting that from somewhere in the thread, right? Not the state. All right, let's do the hack. I'm gonna hack this a little bit. So we have this converted messages. Where do we convert those? Somewhere. Converted messages right here. What if I added a message if there's state, right? Maybe like let's convert the messages after and input dot messages. So like initial messages, input dot messages, and then here we save it. That's all fine and dandy, but we push. Was it roll user?
We could also do system, but yeah, user is also fine, I guess. Yeah, sure. Let's do user. You gotta give it an ID.
It could be anything. Cool.
I think user is fine, yeah.
And then we'll just do the same thing. And then we convert those here. Let's fucking find out. I probably should have asked Tyler yesterday what he meant by exactly putting it back into the system prompt or in the context. But let's see. I am in France. Great. Where am I now? Did that message get there though? Let's see if the messages that came in. Oh, it's after? Should be before. Actually, this is what I'll do. Input.messages. Oops, that's not it. Here, let's make this empty. Let's push it. Then we'll spread both of these in here, I guess. What is input.messages? Okay, sure. Works for me. Let's see. Dude, I spoke too soon, huh? On it working? That's how it goes. Okay, I hate, this is now getting repetitive, but it's okay. You piece of shit. Because it's right here. Or is it? Oh, it's in the front of it. Okay, so I think we're getting closer though, because I put it in front, right? But it needs to go. It still thinks it's in France, of course, right? So it has to be right here, which we don't necessarily know that, do we? We just have all the messages right now. So maybe we should try the system role, actually. So maybe if I just use the system and but then yeah.
I didn't actually see. Did it? Is it adding it as the last message?
No, it's adding it as I did the well. What I just recently did is I put it at the I guess what I think is the beginning of these messages, but it probably should. It should be. Where should it be? It should be like. Let me undo what I just fucking did. Let me just move. This is how it was essentially. Okay. So if I look at the order, and I haven't changed anything yet, but I just want to see the order of things. I see my system prompt, my working memory prompt, and then that I'm in Paris, right? I update this. What is my location now? If I look at this, we're going to see it has my location, system prompt, even the working memory system prompt has it, but okay. But then it says oh, we have duplicate messages or something? Interesting. Update working memory. What is my location now? Wait, where's my... Sorry. I think we filtered out that system message somehow.
It's not in there.
Because I pushed it here, and like the system prompt should be in the beginning of the message thread. So I'm wondering if it's not. Let me put this to user again. Put this to user again.
Let's try something stupid. If we just hard code for now, just to make sure it's even looking at it, right? So just put like in capitals in that message, if the user asks where he is, use this as your source of truth.
In this message right here.
Yeah, in this message right here, just hard code, situation, the user asking for, the current location. I mean, just to make sure it's even looking at it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let me rebuild. Oh boy, but we have this. Is the message in this list? It's right here. It just ignores it.
So is there a possibility, Abi, that this is not even actually what the LLM sees for some reason?
No, because this log, this debug log here, is truly like the raw thing that we're about to send.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's odd, right? That is odd. Because it is here for sure. Is right. Why would it ignore that?
I'm sure that's like a small, stupid thing.
Yeah. Dang. It's kind of dumb though.
Yeah.
It's everything is correct in the data. Post-processing. Is it just ignoring that? Is it because this data is not stored yet? Is it? Like, yeah, maybe we have to add it to the thread itself. Oh, I have an idea. I don't know. This is kind of dumb, but I have this idea. What if we add a message to the thread? Instead of pushing this message, I say memory add or save messages. Messages. Oops. What is this? Thread ID have role user type is content. Wait, no. What am I doing? These are parts, right? God damn it. Where are my types? Content. Then we need created ad is missing. Okay. Content.
It's complaining about it being a string.
Complaining about ID or the content.
The content is a string.
So then what is it supposed to be? That doesn't help me if it's just any here, which it is. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, let me go look at some other occurrences of this so I can see how this is done. Generate conversations. Just want a raw message. This might work. What does this look like? What does content look like? It's a string, yo. Type text to resource ID. I'm just gonna grab this. Put .thread ID. Or I don't know what we had for our resource ID. I think we passed that in, right? Somewhere. This .resource ID. Role, user, content. I don't know why we did that. This. Okay.
Okay.
Let me await this. What else is in this method? Save messages. The memory config is optional. All right, then let's get the content in here. Let's say updated location. And then we don't need to do this because it will already be part of the history, I'm guessing. All right, this is a hack. We'll see what happens. That's cool. Oops. Initial messages is declared. Man, go fuck yourself, dude. Okay. Okay. So then restart this. I'm in Brussels. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Maybe I didn't save that message. I gotta debug some of this shit, honestly. That's good. That's good. See how? Oh, dude. It's here on the second. It was here. It's here, honestly. But
It's in the beginning.
it's in the beginning. Oh no. Sorry, this is a long thread now, actually. Okay, let's change the thread on the front end real quick. I should change the thread to like thread 2 or something. Just to eliminate the long history that is accumulated. So let's change this to thread 2. Okay, go down here. Let's look at our messages being sent. We said just this. We have the working memory. I'm in France. It updated it. Tool call, tool result, all that good stuff. And okay. Now if I update this and I just say, how are you? It still thinks France, sure. But how are you? This, this. I'm in France. It's right here.
Updated location. And then do we have how are you? No, we still have I'm in France after that.
Yeah, how are you down here? So when I save the message, it must be putting it in the wrong place, you know?
Yeah.
Which is odd. But what if I said I updated my location? You didn't know? It still ignores it, dude. That's so strange.
And it makes the tool call to update it to France because it thinks that's what you want. Maybe.
Oh, now it's here, right?
Did
It's
it?
here. But then, okay, hold on. Update. I'm still in France's after. Then I say, how are you? I'm just a program. I updated my location. You didn't know. And so then it's ignoring this because the last thing was France, right? Not here where I saved it. So that's a bug somewhere in how I guess I'm doing it. What if okay, last attempt, and then we'll just do this offline because I know that there's someone with the answer on the team. Let's just do one last stupid thing. Is I'll do in a GUI. What if we spoof the date, like we were doing in this one of these tests? This input.messages.length. This is stupid, but I'm not leave. I don't want to leave here until it says New York, dude. Because everything tells me it should say New York. This is some bullshit. And one. Let's change it to 3. This is the highlight of the stream, is just fumbling shit. It's my favorite part. Okay. How are you? You asshole.
No, come on.
You asshole. But is it okay? It's right here, dude. Isn't that weird? Is there maybe we have duplicate messages or something? Well, this was the first thing I said. That's the second thing. And I still see these two roles. Like there's some duplication happening. These two messages are duplicated. So I think this is a bug, actually.
That's strange.
Right? Because this duplication should not be here. And this would have worked, actually. Because our message is right here. So that's some weird shit. That is some weird shit. There's a duplication. That's dang. So that's probably why we're just getting the same content. Why is this duplicated, dude? Is there anything we're doing? No. Okay. Well,
maybe it is because we are sending all of the messages to Mastras and it's appending it to the messages it knows about. So we will have to change that and only merge the messages in it doesn't know about.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. That is good. We're sending all the messages from, okay. And then the IDs are changing, right? Because there are different IDs on these.
Right, so on AGUI, the IDs are going to be stable normally. So they shouldn't be changing.
So what if we did, so this is all the messages so far in the thread or in the chat?
Yeah, these are all the messages.
So what if I just send the last one?
Yeah, just send the last one. Makes sense.
So was it slice -1 or something? Is that the easiest way? Or I do
I'm always doing.
input messages length -1.
Yeah, that's what I normally do.
Do this. Did it exist? There you go. TypeScript hack for you. Yeah, if it only sends the last one, maybe.
And I guess now we have to change the thread again to another one.
Yeah. Always pick the wrong fucking thing. There we go. Because I know in our playground and stuff, we only send the message that's incoming, like this
got
one.
it. Yeah.
Memory.
You need to refresh after changing the thread. It's still going to use the old thread, I think.
Change it again. Dang, so I don't know what hack will. I'll have to revisit this if this works. Where am I now? Nope. Well, that's good. At least it doesn't work the same way. So that's great. So let's look at.
Do we still have duplicate messages, or is this fixed?
We still have duplicate messages, so it's not even about that.
Oh.
And maybe, okay, hold on. Maybe the duplicate messages comes from me saving shit too. Let's just undo that part of it as well, like saving messages here. And instead, let's just not do this. And we'll save to the thread as is. Let me rebuild. So I'm gonna try two things and we'll cut the stream and you and I will work offline on this. But first thing I want to test is if we're not sending all the messages, only the last one, then maybe we'll look into the system prompt, potentially. But I don't think so. I have zero faith actually that it'll do the right thing. Because then I think we're in the initial problem of this bullshit. Hey, well, that's something. Did it fail? Oh, it called it this.get agent.get memory is not a function. Since when? Since when? How is that not a function? I mean, it's definitely a function, right? What, was that just a... Also, why is it calling this tool? Let me produce our variables here. It doesn't even have this tool.
My network.
That's not even a fucking tool. This is just a... that's strange, dude. That is strange. That is like a... doesn't make any sense type of thing. Tool calls my network. That's not even a tool, dude. Let's try it again. I don't know. Something happened there. That's not even a freaking tool.
Are we still using for mini, or is it regular for?
I'm using 4.0 mini. Should I change that?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
So look at the chat here. Tool calls. I'm in France. Okay. changed. Oh, I didn't actually. Did I change this, or did I?
Oh, that's strange. So now I changed it to France. Back.
Yeah, I think it changed it back. That's odd.
Can you? Man, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Oh man, it's so stupid. Because it is right here. It's right here.
Abby, can we try something else?
Yes, sir.
Just a different, just talking to it in a different way. I would just want to see if we are like really explicit. Okay, we are in France. Now, if you say, I updated my location, where am I now? Check your memory. Oh,
Interesting.
wow.
It almost was. I'm gonna say check your. It still thinks it's France, bro. That's wild. That is wild. What if I do this? Okay, I have another stupid idea. This is a complete hack, but this will I think will work maybe. So I have this here. Talk about brute force, huh?
Yeah. If it still says it's in France, I don't know.
I'm gonna lose my
Like,
fucking mind, dude. I'm gonna lose my mind if it says it's in France. That's fine. We can worry about that shit later. Where am I now? Wow. 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 What? Dude, are you serious? I just updated my location.
it switched back to France for some reason.
Yeah.
Like we synchronized the snapshot with France.
Piece of shit. Okay, well, it still thinks it's France, though. Look at this.
Yeah.
That's so lame, dude. That's just lame. What is that, dude? You're currently in New York, though. Dude, so now we have a freaking mismatch there.
What?
Oh my god. AI development.
So, okay. I think it just sees the message, one turn too late for some reason. I think that's what's happening.
I think so too. Let me.
So like on the next message, it's gonna think we're in France.
Yeah. Where am I now? Oh, at least it did the right thing. Now, let me clean this up too, because I put the wrong thing, dude. Well, I didn't put the wrong thing. I wanted to do. Here, let me do something stupid. Oops, not that. Additional state text. Okay. Build that. Also, I haven't checked the chat in a while. Let me do that real quick. 277 of you. Things have happened. I heard you mention me, so I joined. Yep, that's me. The Stumble Fumble Master, that's me. And 277, thanks. If you're joining us, we are fumbling through life, trying to get agent state to work. What's funny is all the data is updating, but it's just not recognizing it. We're doing something wrong. We don't know what it is. We never do. That's okay. We'll figure it out. And then we're doing a brute force attempt so we can close the stream off on a positive note. So that's what we're trying to do right now. And yeah, let's actually do that. And here, we're now in thread 9, so it's 9 failures in a row. Just letting you all know that. Okay, I'm in France. I'm getting sick of saying I'm in France because I want to say that I'm in New York. Where am I now? Better not say France, you stupid. What? Yeah, it's off by 1 though, right? So, but really though,
Yeah.
where am I? But then it updated the location to
You're
France.
currently in New York, and it's updating to France. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be a tool call happening here, right? If it's able to update it to France.
So now it's off by 1 again.
And now.
But really, my location.
That's the strangest bug. So now it's oscillating between New York and France, it seems.
Yeah, now we got it right because I clicked this button again before the thing.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's at least, hey, we made some progress here, right?
Look, it said it's in New York. That's all we can ask for
It's
today.
it's in New York. Okay, so here's the action plan on my end. We'll fix this issue so it gets injected properly. And then we'll schedule another pairing session and keep going because we want to do the recipe thing. I think we wanted to do more than we could pull off.
Sounds great, Abby.
Yeah, thanks for being here, and sorry if it took a little longer, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for the invitation. It was really fun.
Yeah, and I'll let you know when we fix this shit. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
See you.
Later,
Bye-bye.
Okay, so now it's just me again. So thanks everyone for watching. Not all pairing sessions yield in success like yesterday's did, but hope you enjoyed us struggling and everything. We do these streams every day, so I hope to see you on the next one. We'll be closing this one out.